the only reason we're losing any fuel, and actually it bumped up a little bit, like it's changing, so it's kind of bumpy and rough for fusions. Oh, actually, I think one of our navies is currently docked, so it might not be burning as much fuel. Is because of the exercise, which I'm going to stop at some point. We don't need a ton of stuff, and one of the questions too is how skilled are these guys? Actually, they're pretty highly trained. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my fleets to just hold. And I guess just go ahead and dock. There we go. That's fine. So when they were moving, they used fuel. Now they're not moving. So it's predicted in about 3 years we'll have filled up our fuel reserve completely. Every time! I'm telling you! Actually, no, this is different. As I say, I keep seeing the UK go fascist. That's not entirely accurate. I often have actually seen the UK go with this sort of non-aligned thing, but then still join the Axis. So no, the UK is officially going fascist. So that'll be fun. So we've ended our land reform, so we lose a little bit of stability, get political power. Then we're going to go privatization over here, get some extra building slots. So with our political power, what are we going to do? We don't need to worry about changing our recruitable population right now. It would be nice to tweak the economy, but A, we can't right now because of various things. Because we don't have war support, we're not at war, whatever. We'll look to change this, but we don't have to yet. Political advisors. Now, here's one of the complaints I've had with Hoy. I sometimes find I have to really engage squint mode to tell the difference between political advisors I can hire now versus not. These two people with the colored photos you can hire. The ones who are black and white you cannot. But it's like, sometimes I can see it a little bit better than others. Right now, all we can get is Eduardo Hay, who gives us more trade deal opinion factor, which lets us trade for more stuff, but I don't know, I don't care. Louis over here, Louis, is kind of nice. Consumer goods factories minus 5%. I don't know if that's going to make a difference right now. Like, I'm not going to math that out, but overall that's quite nice. It can save you a lot of factories. But what we may want to do is, get, some of these people that make production cheaper. The Prince of Terror is going to be quite nice later on. If we go with Triumph or the Cristeros over here, always nice, the Prince of Terror, the non-core manpower, effective partisans. This guy here, Jose Vasquelos, the syncretic revanchist, he gives us our daily fascism support. And generate war goal attention limit minus 50%. So as soon as we get this dude, we can start wars. And he's going to give us our fascism support. So we have to get the gold shirts unlocked for him, which is kind of fine. Union boss is communist support. So we're not going to necessarily look here. Democratic support. Unaligned support. So that's not really a priority. It'll probably end up being something like Jose and maybe Lewis and maybe Pablo. I'm not sure. Son of Dev Diary, the game rules the direct way. Yeah, and that's the thing. Something else may have caused the British AI to decide to go fascist or something like that, but I think at this point it's still pretty random. We could consider maybe just picking up a material designer now, depending on if we pick the cheap guy. We should also talk about our theorist here, because military theorist is all right. Gives you experience, land doctrine discount. We can get a bigger discount if we pick Manuel here. He's 10% doctrine if we go superior firepower specifically, although he's a lot more expensive to hire, and we need to unlock him through an idea. But I actually think we might go for the military theorist right away out of everything that's available here. I can't change the trade. Oh, I can change the trade law. That's true. Except I can't close the economy or do anything like that. I could go to free trade. That might not be terrible. We get a bunch of bonuses. We'll ship more resources out to the market, but we might be able to get more stuff. Spirit Firepower is a really good line. It's usually my favorite. But the thing is, with Mexico here, because this is so expensive, and because we have shit economy, I think it might be more practical to either go with the planning one or the manpower one. I suppose we could just go, for free trade. It's quite expensive, though. You know what? I'm just going to get the military theorist. I like to get the army experience starting to accrue. And yeah, we will have to talk about our doctrine choice, Usually, for most countries, I really like going Superior Firepower Doctrine, but I don't think it's a good idea here. Grand Battle Plan Doctrine gives you lots of entrenchment and planning bonuses and defense bonuses, which could really help us hold the line against America. The other thing that's quite nice, though, with Mass Assault Doctrine here, it gives us more out of supply, like a reduced out of supply penalty and more of a supply grace, which will be, and I think somewhere over here, is there a reduced amount of supply requirement? Oh no, I'm thinking right here, infiltration assault minus supply. Just because we're going to be fighting in American mountains and deserts, as well as in South American jungle, all of which have crap supply. So either one of the trees that helps with that would be good. And honestly, the manpower one might be the best way to go. No naval one? What for the... I mean, well, we may look at naval doctrines much later, I think. We might play a naval doctrine catch-up game. I don't know where we'd go. Also, not much air stuff. Oh, speaking of air, I want to make a few changes. We have very little production of goods right now. I'm going to go first. I'm going to cancel the close air support job completely. I could switch it over to making some fighters, but I don't know. Like, we don't have the tech right now to get cool fighters. So I think, well, first of all, we're just going to, like, try to increase our equipment generation. And that'll have to be good enough. What we might do is add some towed anti-air once we get towards fighting the Americans, and just add anti-air to our divisions. I'm gonna grab the minus consumer goods guy. I don't know how the math will work out, if it makes any difference right now whatsoever, though. Decisions available. I don't feel like you need to do the anti-whatever raids. Or banning whatever. I think if like the players are trying to like influence your nation and set you up for a coup or something, then maybe that's more important, but solo I don't find that it's everything I really care about. Nationalizing church land weakens the church, and then has a side effect of whatever. I don't think we're interested in doing that, though, especially since we're going to be erring on the Catholic side. U.S. passes Neutrality Act. Oh, one of the things we got to talk about. So the U.S. guarantees, like, every country in the Americas. However, they won't go to war if it's two countries that are both guaranteed. So we're guaranteed by the U.S. right now. So if we go to war with Guatemala, we're not going to get, the U.S. isn't going to come in. It used to change, I think, if it hits Pax Americana. Now, that no longer exists, so I actually don't know the name of the thing that will cause them to get all, like, cranky and intervening. If we take a look at their tree over here, so right now they're working towards Arsenal Democracy. Good for them. It might be intervention in the Americas, which allows them to actually get involved in wars with us. But, because there's no Pax Americana, which I think used to be the trigger for that. So we're sort of going to have to guess. T-minus 12 days to rebellion. No, it's not... this counter here is not an actual rebellion. It's just a worsening of some of the political situation. Privatization has kicked in. You get building slots in a bunch of provinces. Because, yeah, look, it's one building slot, but it's in 6 different provinces. So 6 building slots. Not actual buildings, but that's okay. So we're going to go to the Cadillo private armies here. Gives us more recruitable population and some war support. Check details on that. Focus. It should tell you what it gives them when it finishes. You can't click on them, though. If they're not your country. Like, if I go... Like, it doesn't give me a flavor text. It just says effects gains national spirit, intervention in the Americas, which grants planning speed plus 5%. But I think it may allow them decisions to get all uppity in the Americas here. It's whiskey and chocolate. Isn't it dangerous to have that much oil so close to the US of Q? It's Banana Cabana! El Presidente, you must show your strength to the capitalist pigs! Have 10 bananas! That's good for you. We can improve worker conditions, which is a great idea, because what this does is it gives us weekly stability. While it's running, we have a reduced factory output, but it gives us weekly stability, which is a permanent boost, and I think we're definitely going to want to do this. It also increases consumer goods factories. So things are bad while it's running, but it's going to give us so much more stability. I'm not invading Guatemala currently. invading Guatemala is our plan once we can start to justify a war goal, which is going to have to wait until we've gotten the gold shirts. So we got this. What we could do is we could rush Guatemala by going to the gold shirts ASAP. But what I think we'll probably do is come down the other half of the liberalize the banking sectors until we get Científico Camarilla over here, which gives us a research slot. So that will go from 2 to 3 research slots. We get 50% more science. I think that's probably worth doing as quickly as possible. We need to acquire era score so we can get a golden era. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, so Cyber, I guess you're new. I guess there's maybe a few more people who haven't seen Hearts of Iron before. Private Armies will support General Cedillo over here. Yeah, so what we have as a plan. So what I've done is we've got this defensive border. I'll show you again, actually. Take the army. I'm just going to trash your current plan. So first thing you do is you hit the front line, and you tell it where the front line is. And you can do that by just clicking on the border of a country like this. So this is where all my troops will line up. Then what you do is you draw your offensive line by right-click and drag. And yeah, so this is where I want my troops to get to. And that's the plan. If I hover over this, it'll sort of show you the provinces in order that it'll likely try to take by doing that. And if we were at war, and when you hit play here, if we were at war, as soon as you hit play, the troops would just start marching forward and try to take over here. What's the whiskey and chocolate? It's Cool Man! Oh yeah, Cool Man was saying something about saving up money. I'm saving up money because of late bills. Ah, been there. Also, here, have a 2-liter bottle of pear cider from your sober advisor. Pear cider is really good. Basically, the only time of cider we can get regularly in Canada is apple cider. Don't get me wrong, apple cider is wonderful. But the range of ciders available in Europe is just stupendous. And yeah, I love pear. Essentially like stone fruit one. Decision, Reconciliation Committee. So the question is, do we keep running Reconciliation Committee whenever it pops up? You know, it'll limit our war score to, you know, no higher than 10% because we're going to keep burning it. But if we can get our stability above 60, again, it's so good. Political power, factory output. Let's try to stabilize. And above 60, no civil war. So what's a stone fruit? Sounds very hard. Ah! You know, fruit with pits in them. Or a stone, i.e. like peach, for example. Trotsky has arrived! So we can either... So, and the Soviet Union has demanded that we return him. So we could return him. We'd get a positive opinion, although the United States would be disappointed. We could say, no, screw it, we're going to give him asylum, which would upset the Soviet Union, but the United States would be happy. Or we could say, oh my god, he's an organizational genius. Let's invite him to join the government. So this will give us a new possible leader. If we run him, we get a 12% extra division organization, which is insanely good. But also daily communism support of 10%. What's interesting is that he's a communist support dude in like a chief of army slot, which isn't very useful. We would lose some stability and different things. We're not interested in get that man. We're not going communist. Let me tell you something. I think communist Mexico is probably a lot stronger than fascist Mexico, a lot stronger. So communism pairs well with the atheistic state as well. So you go atheistic communism. I think it's really good. But we're going to go ahead and... I mean, we don't care who we impress. We'll stay on the United States good-sized for now, because if for some reason they would revoke the guarantee of us, it would really screw us up. I heard he loves ice in his drinks. Uh-oh. Oh, the Little Entente. Yeah, well, so that's not a surprise, because we have the United Kingdom going fascist.
It's whiskey and
so
chocolate.
France, so there's no allies. We got more whiskey and chocolate. There's no allies. Instead, France is having to start its own faction, the French Entente. They'll pull in some people over here. So they've got Czechoslovakia in here. Basically what it means, France is about to get wrecked. Absolutely wrecked by Germany. Worse than historically. So, you know, that's good. If Spain goes fascist, you have tons of volunteers. And they probably will. Nationalist Spain generally wins, because of course that's historical. Who said it's Margin? Hey, thank you very much, Margin. Hi, Quill. Loving all your videos, especially the ones when plans unfold not in any particular planned way. Here's to more great moments in gaming and many laughs at your unfolding attempts. Well, thank you very much for that. We do enjoy things when things go hilariously wrong. Quite a bit. it's nice to get ready for the reinforcements. I think we can wait. I think what we'll do is we'll probably get more industry here. I think we're going to disperse industry because we're kind of afraid of American bombers just obliterating all of our infrastructure. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. It's not quite 37. It's close, but maybe I'll hold off. We might want to get some of the excavation stuff later on. I think we're okay here. What I think would be nice to do is working our way up the infantry equipment tech line. We don't have that many factories dedicated to it right now, so we may as well get it in there before we get the factories so we can start getting some of the bonuses. I don't know. So do you know anything about stealing manpower from puppets, or was it fixed or no? I mean, you can still get stuff. I don't know. I never really like abused any of the crazy rules. There is slightly more convenient stuff when you're the leader of the faction. There's a much easier way to like request troops now, like literally from like your army screen. There's a button here, or even you can hit a new army just from troops requested from your other faction people. It makes it way easier as a faction leader to organize stuff. All right, support General Cedillo. He'll be placated. He becomes a field marshal, and he's also available as a chief of army, which is army offense, division attack, 10% more attack strength. That's not bad. I think he's really cheap too, which is good. And it removes this national spirit that was hurting our stability, and this removes one of the Civil War triggers. So no more Civil War. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to work down here just to get that research slot, because again, for us, that's effectively 50% more tech. Yeah, we've got to start the sport weapon. Yeah, we got to unlock that technology. That is true. I think I'll still unlock the infantry equipment first, but yeah, we're going to have to unlock the ability to make support weapons. How many countries don't start with the ability to make support weapons right from the start? Good God. I like how America is already moving people to the border. Gotta stop those immigrants. Mexico's maximum research slots. I think we looked. I think we can get all the way up to 5, which is pretty good. We got more whiskey and chocolate coming in. Nice. Did it say dragon guns? Oh, maybe that's the name of the weapons. It's Dragon Wealth! Hey! Quill, so happy to see you again. For some reason, I prefer to watch this game rather than play. Weird. A lot of things. I'm like that, too, for lots of games. I don't know why, but it's like that. As always, love viewing the stream with a pot of tea. I've had so much tea since I've gotten here. We'll probably get some partway through the stream and then end with something a little stronger, perhaps. Also, thanks for the Mystic Veil video. I convinced my wife we need it for game nights now. Yeah, I think it's just a lovely game, Mystic Veil. So thank you very much for that. And the kind words. And yeah, I hope you enjoy Mystic Veil. I think it's just grand. What was it? Oh, yeah, Dragon Guns. Mondragon. Yeah, the Mondragon M08 is what we're researching. I don't know if Mondragon means something else in Spanish. Or I should say Mexican Spanish, because it's like, sometimes there's a difference. Or if it just is like some sort of dragon. It might literally just be type of dragon. Iron Dragon or something, I don't know. Mondragon was a man. Oh, it was someone's name! Oh, okay. That was the Civil War. Alright. I mean, I'm hoping the Nationalists win. What's the Germans doing? Rhineland, good for them. United Kingdom, encouraging colonial elite. France, metropolitan France. US, build the Pentagon. At some point, we won't be able to actually get information off of them. National Housing Act for Canada. Alright. We'll see what they do. Strike breaking. Okay. No strikes allowed in our country. So we get increased factory output. We'll go urban development, so we're going to get a total of 5 infrastructure from this, which is going to really pay off nicely. I can get a political advisor. Right, didn't get. The industrial concern was still one. Maybe I should just get the Bank of Mexico. Industrial research speed. You know what? F it. Let's just do this.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
It's whiskey and chocolate. Sums up U.S. versus Canada. Build a Pentagon or building public housing. Wow, that political commentary. Nice. Okay, so we've unlocked the Mondragon 08 over here, so we've got new types of infantry weapons. Yeah, let's go to the support companies. We'll unlock support equipment because we can start building that. We get a little reminder that we're making outdated weapons, so we're going to go from basic infantry equipment to the Mondragon over here. I mean, we still have crap factories. We have 3 whole military factories. Oh, the dude in the strike-breaking button is looking so sad. I know. It actually kind of hurts my heart a little bit. It's History Gamer! Hey, thank you very much! Thanks for continuing to feature digital board games. Also, when you invade Kansas, please skip my house. But you want to be part of the great, glorious Mexican junta, don't you? It's the best country in the world. with El Presidente Quill18 at the helm. Yeah, board games are so good. Like, I love physical board games, and this whole digital board game thing is just great, because it gives me a chance to play board games on my own, you know, just versus AI. So we got the militarization of the Rhineland. Urban development has kicked in for infrastructure, but more importantly, it's going to let us get our +1 research slot. Germany, what you doing next? KDF wagon, that's, I think, oh, it's civilian factories. God, I get so jealous looking at that. He's taking a decision that's going to give him more civilian factories than I currently have, like, access to. Dispersed industry has kicked in, so more factories in the state, more production efficiency gain, yada, yada, yada. We are now in 37, so I'll go ahead and get the next research, the next industry research going on. So, I mean, at least we do have a discount to that. We haven't started doing our doctrines yet. Oh! Firmician Constantium. Pope Pius XI has issued a papal encyclical addressing the Mexican situation. While the Cristiada was resolved at the negotiating table and the open bloodshed has been ended, the Church is still worried about the direction Mexico is heading in. The encyclical urges Mexican voters to side with religious candidates in elections and calls for Mexican religious parties such as Catholic Action to address social problems such as poverty to prevent more revolutionary violence. So we can say it is good that the anti-church violence has ended, which gives us a powerful church, or we can say superstitious propaganda prevent publication of this treason, which will bring us. So this is just the religious versus atheistic balance, and the numbers that you're seeing here is just a side effect of things moving in one direction or another. It's not a standalone modifier, and we are planning on going fully religious. I mean, right now, the more factory output would be better. One of the things we should take a look at, we might want to hold off on some of the religious development because after we get gold shirts, there's Revanchist Revolution, which is quite cool. It gives us a bunch of popularity of fascism, 10% war support, changes some of the party names and things like that, changes our political leader to quite a good one. We can only run this if we have either atheist church or weak church. So what I propose is that we try to keep the church a little bit on the weak side for now. And probably later on, like I'm still thinking we're going to go full religious, but we'll see. Mostly I want to go full religious because there's like awesome shit over here. The Knights of Columbus or the Legion of Christ, and then the crusade against atheism. Like, what? This is awesome! I love it. I love it. And like, let's do that. But for now, I think we can keep it a little bit weaker, and it's going to be okay. Deus Vult. There you go. There you go. God wills it. God wills it that Mexico rules the entire world is basically what we're talking about here. U.S. will likely have air superiority of him does bombings. Yeah, air superiority is going to be a big problem with the U.S. I mean, we don't really have the research slot to research good fighters, although we'll probably do it at some point somewhat. But mostly we'll probably be reliant on anti-air attachments to our armies to do the brunt. Okay, we've unlocked support equipment, which means we can start building it, although we still don't have anything to do with it yet. It might be worth doing something like unlocking the engineer company, which is like probably the most powerful company. Like the extra movement is good. Like it's so significant. It's both movement rate as well as like extra like defense and attack and everything like that. I think I am going to go ahead and unlock this. And in our production queue, I'm going to make sure to like say, hey, by the way, we would very much like to start building some support equipment. We still don't have the factories for it, mind you, but it's going to be in the list. Support weapons for better fighting. Well, I mean, yeah, we could research that, but I figure if we're working on support equipment, although we're not, you know what? Yeah, let's just get the weapons over here for a slight boost. That's gonna be okay, because we'll probably start a war. So we still can't justify. We're still okay right here. We're finishing this for extra research slot. It's gonna be amazing. Maybe I didn't have to change. It's fine. It's only the 1%. Maybe we'll research the engineering companies now. So now that we've done that, right, we could go to oil field expansion, get some oil. Over here, there's a bunch of stuff for little like military tech discounts, which are quite nice. Although it's not a very big tree. Tons more oil stuff. Over here, we can get a bunch of steel plants and some extra factories, which is just frackin' gorgeous. But I think what we want to do right now is we want to go and do the political stuff and start working towards fascism. So we're going to do plan of Agua Prieta, which gives us more base stability. There you go. Hey, we'll be at 50% stability, you guys. And I still think I'm going to go ahead and finish the engineering company. Well, finishing it. Was that apparently at 1.9%.